Class 12th, Subject Physics, 7th chapter, Wave Optics. From this chapter, let us see what is resolving power of a telescope. So, resolving power of a telescope is defined as the reciprocal of least angular separation between the objects that are just resolved. Resolving power of a telescope is defined as the reciprocal of least angular separation between the objects that are just resolved. So telescopes will be used to observe the distant objects clearly. Let AB represents the objective of the telescope receiving two sets of parallel beams from the two distant objects with an angular separation theta. According to Rayleigh's criterion, the minimum separation between the images I and I dash must be equal to the radius of the first dark airy ring. And therefore, if you consider this diagram, that is ray diagram for this resolving power of telescope, then it is having AB as the objective with its diameter is equal to D. The two sets of parallel rays coming from two distant objects are allowed to fall on it. After that, the diffraction pattern will be observed on the screen as shown in the figure. And therefore, if you consider this resolving power of the telescope, then the path difference, this is the path difference between the extreme rays at the first dark ring is given as 1.22 lambda, that is equal to Bi dash minus Ai dash. Now how that path difference will be Bi dash minus Ai dash? For that purpose, let us consider the geometry of this figure. If you consider the two rays Ai dash and Bi dash, Ai dash and Bi dash, then Bi dash will be greater as compared with this Ai dash. Now by how much factor it will be greater? For that purpose, let us draw a perpendicular from point A on this Bi dash, so that this perpendicular will meet here, and therefore this distance will be the difference Bi dash minus Ai dash, which will be nothing but the path difference between these two rays Bi dash and Ai dash. And therefore that Bi dash minus Ai dash will be given as d into theta, that is equal to 1.22 lambda. Now how it is d into theta? This path difference equal to d into theta. D is the diameter of this objective that will be acting as hypotenuse for this triangle, because here it is perpendicular. Then the angular separation theta is there. Therefore, as this angle is theta, this angle will be opposite to that theta. Therefore, it is theta. If this angle is theta, then inside this triangle, this angle will be 90 minus theta. This is already 90. Therefore, at A, inside this triangle, angle will be equal to theta. As it is theta, this side is opposite side, and therefore opposite side will be equal to hypotenuse into sine of this angle theta. But here theta is very small, and therefore sine theta is taken as theta, and hence this Bi dash minus Ai dash, that path difference will be equal to d into theta. And therefore from this relation we can write theta equal to 1.22 lambda upon d, and hence the resolving power, which is the reciprocal of that theta, that is 1 by theta, will be equal to d upon 1.22 lambda. Now this equation gives the resolving power of the telescope. From this relation it is clear that to increase the resolving power of the telescope, the aperture of the objective, that is D, must be as large as possible. But if the value of D is increased too large, that is by using large lens, it will cause some problem. such as aberration, initial molding of the lens, as well as it will become heavy mass for changing the setting of the telescope, and therefore we cannot increase the aperture, that is diameter of that lens d, beyond a certain limit. Now let us see the next point, that will be the radio telescope. The wavelength of radio waves are in terms of meters. According to the equation of the resolving power of the telescope, if we want to have same limit of resolution as that of an optical telescope, the aperture of the radio telescope should be very large. But a single disc of such large diameters is not practicable, hence arrays of alternate spread over several kilometers are used. Now the giant meter wave radio telescope, that is GMRT, is located at Narayangau near Pune. Now let us see the next point, that is the Lloyd's mirror. Lloyd's mirror, which is related with the interference of light, similar to that of the biprism experiment, and therefore if we consider the ray diagram of this Lloyd's mirror, it is as shown. It gives two sources, that is real source and the virtual source. When a mirror, a plane mirror, is placed here horizontally, and then it will give rise to the interference pattern as shown. And therefore if you consider this Lloyd's mirror, then the light is made to fall from a source at a grazing angle on a plane mirror. So if it is the plane mirror, this is the plane mirror, on that plane mirror light is allowed to fall at the grazing angle from a source of light. Then some of the light directly falls on the screen and some light falls after reflection from the mirror. So some light from this real source will directly fall on the screen and some light will fall on it after reflection by that mirror. Then the reflected light appears to come from a virtual source. So that reflected light appears to be come from the virtual source, and therefore they are derived from a single source and hence they are coherent. So if you consider that ray of light which appears to come from a virtual source, and so we get two sources, that is real source and virtual source, they are derived from a single source and hence they are coherent, and therefore the interference will take place and the interference pattern is obtained, which is as shown.